We got from Jethix, who said, have you played FF14's Palace of the Dead, which is their take on roguelites? Love all the WoW content. Keep up the great work all. Thank you. For me, no. What about for you?
Yes. I've only gone to floor 50, I think, out of the 200. It's really simple. And it loses a lot for me as far as a roguelike goes because you don't have like massively different gameplay.
Yeah.
It's just you've got your class, you get these pomanders, which are like little items that can either solve problems on the floor by removing traps or removing enemies, or give yourself extra damage resistance, or big one-shot things where you'll turn into, like, it's called a succubus. It's not quite the same design as a succubus in World of Warcraft, for example. But you have like one button to cast for a while. You turn into a big thing, can't remember what it's called, but one-shots things on the floor for a while. So it's not really super well designed or anything like that as far as your gameplay changing up goes. But it is just, you go in there, at the lower floors you start at level 1, later on you end up starting at 60, and you just have access to your job, which obviously your job is good by itself. So you're doing that, and then you've got a bunch of enemies that are fairly difficult eventually, and then you've got boss fights which are fun as well. So it's pretty good.
Cool.
Pretty good.
And you can level there, right?
Oh yeah, that's one of the biggest things is
I think, for me that's like so exciting.
Yeah.
Where like Blizz let me have an not infinite, but like some new version of Torghast that I can level up in, and maybe it'll give me some cool, like, imagine if they made a Torghast leveling set. And did some cool things there. That could be a really fun way to level up a new tune. So
yeah, it's that
pretty please.
Yeah, so for a bit of color to that, you go in with any job above 15, I think.
Okay.
Even if they're classes and not yet jobs at 30, don't go in with a thing at 15 because you'll have no abilities basically. But you can level up to, I believe it's up to I think it's up to 60 in it.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying people say it gets actually very difficult, 100 plus, and then the achievement for going solo 1 to 200 is, a very, very big achievement to do by yourself because it's insane. But it's you can level. It's not. I think with the Shadow, the Endwalker pre-order necklace, it is technically faster. I can't remember which content creator. I think it was a relatively small FF creator who had this guide, and like, great guide. But I wish I could remember. But basically said doing dungeons is the fastest way, but Palace of the Dead is a great way to do it. If you've got 3 people and are kind of happy with the roguelite stuff and want to level while experiencing the job at a higher level. Yeah. Because you do, it's like floor like 31 to 40, I think maybe. Whatever floor is the most optimal to do for real experience. Your job is a higher level in Palace of the Dead.
Oh.
So you could be level 30 outside and go in, get up to level 60 and have most of your stuff.
So that could be a really cool way to like try out jobs.
Yeah, it's incredible for that.
Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Good. Exciting. Shit.
Yep.
Fuck. Oh God.
Yeah.
Because I've been talking to I've just been talking to more people, and it's actually been great. My sort of online sort of gamer social circle is expanded a little bit, and a bunch of that's like real people are smarter than me, right? You can dive into that shit way more than me. And I've got so many different recommendations for different reasons, and knowing that I can just sort of do that kind of trial-y thing is really cool. So I need to do that for Red Mage, Dark Knight, Dancer, Samurai Ninja. Oh dear, I have so much to do, and this is all very cool and exciting in that game.
Yeah,
nice.
They're all like, every job I've played so far has surprised me with how fun it is. Like, I recently played Machinist above 35 after getting Hate Blast, and I'm like, all right, so you're building up stuff with your 2.5 GCD, your regular combo, your ability, your like next direct hit crit, next abilities direct crit, which is cool, and then just like hit hypercharge. Okay, Heat Blast is 1.5 second GCD and resets one of your off GCD abilities. So you're basically going for like 8 seconds every like 20-30 seconds, and it's really fun.
That's neat.
Yep.
Hearing the like Dancer is like super doubling down on RNG, but in a way where like it comes together, and the resource building and spending of it Yeah,
Yep.
it just sounded so cool as described to me,
Yeah.
and I remember looking. It was like somebody's overview of the jobs, and just like it just had such a cool, unique fantasy.
Yeah.
And like vibe, and like just the spells and stuff. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. Also, your cooldown, as much as it can be called a cooldown, standard and then technical step, is basically a very, very short DDR minigame.
Ah.
So you go into your dance, and then the game says, dance like this. Basically, like two buttons and then 4 in technical step, and you just hit those in the right order, and then your next abilities are buffed.
So just doing a really good job of like the pacing of you hitting the keyboard
Yes.
to achieve the class fantasy.
That is what a lot of, especially the more recent jobs, have done an exceptional job at. Like Red Mage's dual cast being short cast, instant cast, short cast, instant cast, short cast, instant cast, is really nice rhythmically. Bard, whenever you get resets and you're going, for your setup, you're going for that kind of GCD, off GCD, off GCD, GCD, off GCD, off GCD. You're weaving that stuff really well. What's the other job that does a good job? Well, I was talking about Machinist does that pretty well. What's the other one? Ninja is incredible for it because your mudras are extremely quick.
I'm terrified of it, but
so you're kind of going like,
I'm terrified of all this shit. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, you've got your thing, and then you go, okay, well, I need to go. Example for my keybinds is like, okay, so AoE, I'm going, my mudras are EFR, so I go EFRQ for my ability that I'm looking for, and then for another one is like FRE for a different one for like, I think that's the buff. So I'm going FREQ, and then I've still got one cooldown, EFRQ, all then weaving my normal like 1, 2, 3, 4 shift 1, 2, 3, 4 stuff in.
So just like you just build this like nice little rhythmic. Yeah, it's like I like the WoW classes whenever they do that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting a game that's really decided to go for that as its thing.
Yeah, it's like the thing that they didn't go with Wild Strike, which was the half GCD that felt like you were mashing it, that felt really cool Fury wise. A lot of the FF jobs do successfully.
I feel like
do that.
Wild Strike, didn't end up feeling good. I think it had bad sound design and stuff like that, which made it not feel like a cool ability. But just the idea of, if you told me that, like, I don't know how it would exactly fit into a Fury Warrior, but just that thing of, I set a bunch of shit up right, I do the thing, and, now I've just procced 4 charges of Wild Strike, and I just kind of go, and it just feels meaty as fuck.
Yep.
That'd be...
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, if I were to turn, if I were to take the current Fury Warrior and turn it a little bit more FF in job design, it would be, instead of Enrage being this random shit when you hit Bloodthirst or whenever you build up your bar for Rampage, building up that bar would take significantly longer. But as soon as you Rampage, then you would have like maybe you would have something off GCD and then something on a short GCD. So you'd have Wild Strike maybe available for the whole of your Rampage, and then you'd have something else that you're weaving in between, like maybe something that's a little bit of a shout. So you would end up going like you'd Wild Strike with one button on like a 1 GCD or 1.5 GCD, weave in an off GCD like shout, like a roar, and then another Wild Strike, and then another shout, and then another Wild Strike. So it would be like you're doing this normal rotation. You're doing this normal rotation, building up this bar, hitting the button, which would be like every 20, 30 seconds or so on a cooldown. And then you would go bing, 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 bing.
All I can
but it would be this
imagine-
moment of going, ah!
Yeah, all I can imagine is just you windmilling, and like every second you just scream, you just go, ah!
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it's-
down. I'm
yeah.
down. It's playing with the pace.
Yeah.
And it's
That's the
whenever
stuff
WoW
that-
does that in its classes, that's why I enjoy things.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
one of the reasons I like Red Paladin quite a lot is literally because what they call it, Hammer of Wrath opens up during wings. And that means
I love that.
cooldown, new button.
Yeah, I when a cooldown does that, it's like big thumbs up.
Yeah.
Even when a cooldown just pumps up your, like energy or resource regen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, cool. And to go back to the original, Palace of the Dead, I think I'm in.
Yep. You get the trial, that's the fight.
Yeah.
Well, once you get to 30 on all of them first, because you need the job crystal to go. You can still level up, but you'll stop getting abilities after a point that you'll need the job crystal to actually get. But yeah.
Seems good.